Richie, you are a veteran of the Marvel movies and series. Tell us more about Echo and what it brings that's unique compared to the previous installments.
Yeah, Echo brings a very unique tone to the Marvel Cinematic Universe. With her, Maya Lopez is a character from some really dark and gritty comics. She's a badass. We meet her. She's a villain. I think that's new for us. I don't think we've ever told a story about someone that is unapologetically a bad guy when we meet them and doesn't really have aspirations of becoming a superhero, but actually has aspirations to become the queen pin of crime herself. So that is definitely unique for us. And the gritty and violent tone that comes with a character like that, that's all unique and new for us, which is exciting.
And Richie, were there any elements that you had to specifically fight for to be included in the Echo series?
No, not really. We got the full support from all of our teams to not hold back when it came to any of those tonal shifts for this show. We're all such fans of our Netflix series that Marvel made a few years ago, and we wanted to make sure that this show really fell in line with some of the tone and action sequences that you could see on that show. That was something that our director, Sydney Freeland, really wanted to make sure we were never shying away from. She would say, Maya's a villain. Like, we can't, like, we're not, if she wouldn't pull her punches, we can't. So that was awesome that we got to do that, but we had full support from the top of pushing this in that direction.
Well, it seems like it'd be really challenging to make Maya a villain, but also such a relatable and inspiring character. And what were some of the challenges that went into just creating that storyline that's so compelling?
Yeah, Maya Lopez is a very complex character. She is violent and a villain and the would be queen pin of crime. But at the end of the day, uh, this is an emotionally driven story about a character. It is about a woman that hasn't been home in 20 years and has to reckon with seeing some family members that abandoned her as a child 20 years earlier due to a trauma in her life. There's some real stuff there that I want to say a lot of us have had to kind of deal with. So I think we can all relate to a certain aspect of that about leaving home and returning home, or family treating you in a way that maybe was unfair because you were a child. I don't know. There's just some things that I think strike us all on an emotional level about this character. It's my favorite part of the series, actually. I think people show up for the violence and badassery of Maya Lopez, but I think what's going to keep you watching is that it's a very emotionally complex show.
Richie, what excites you the most about just the evolution of the Marvel brand since you've been involved?
This new period that we're in right now with Marvel Television, that we're allowed to tell stories like Echo about characters from the comics like Maya Lopez that are relatively more obscure than any of the other characters we've told stories about in our shows or movies. So it's super exciting to think about where we could go in terms of the characters we could tell stories about and the types of stories we're telling, the genre specific stories, and how everything might be tonally diverse from what came before it. Like, that's really exciting right now that we could do all these different things.
Do you think there will be an effort to include more indigenous characters and storylines in Marvel TV shows and movies?
I think so. I think that, we've had great success with Echo. Our partnership with the Choctaw Nation was unlike anything we've ever done at the studio before. So that kind of made it easy for us on this one. But again, with our huge library of characters from the comics, there are so many new and different characters that each have their unique cultures and backgrounds that haven't seen their way to screen yet in any capacity. So it's super exciting to think that we, on the level that we can at Marvel, could tell some of these stories.
And what do you think more indigenous characters could add to the Marvel brand and to make it more impactful and resonate more with audiences across the world?
Just real feelings and emotion, to contrast some of the larger than life things that we tend to do in some of our movies and shows. Like, I think that was also the secret of Echo, is that she brought the authenticity of working with the Choctaw Nation that Maya brings to screen. It helps the show feel more real and grounded. It's rooted in realism. Even Maya's powers are rooted in things that we all kind of have a little bit of experience with. Her powers come from a connection to her ancestors, so making sure that all of that was super authentic. I think that helps you connect to the character more, whether you are Choctaw or Native or not. You could connect to that this is based in reality and it feels real, even if she's got crazy powers.